Brooks to inbound. And now Şengün. Defended by Green. For the lead. No! Ripping it off. Rebound inside. Whistle blown. Foul.
If game 3 was a bat signal for Steph, then game 4, it was a Robin signal for Jimmy Butler. He returned after a one-game absence last night in the Bay Area, and they needed him today. Picking it up in the second quarter here, it was chippy. Look at Dillon Brooks.
Chippy is an understatement. That's been the theme of the entire series, but guess what? The Golden State Warriors, they accept the challenge, and Dillon Brooks, he's always going to talk it
So
up.
he's letting Steph Curry know, that's just one. I only got one foul, bro. 1 minute later.
Don't do that.
This is where Steph Curry looks up at Dillon Brooks and says, all right, bro, now you got 2. Brooks did not take kindly to this, Danny Green.
Neither did Draymond. You got into a little bit.
They start a kerfuffle.
Yeah, kerfuffle.
My favorite word. Brooks, Curry, Green all received technical fouls.
And there's the
here.
wink.
And then later in the second, a little bit more drama. Tari Eason doesn't back down from anybody here. Draymond Green
Basically sat on him.
Yeah, you can't put
Accidental
your feet up on
drop
somebody.
kick.
Yeah.
Eason would be assessed a technical, and Green was given a flagrant, maybe because he already had a technical. The referees are very self-aware.
And then he's just picking his nails like,
just
okay.
checking those nail beds, making sure everything's good.
I'm glad they didn't kick him out, though. I'm glad they didn't kick him out.
Absolutely. To the fourth quarter we go. Warriors down 4 minutes left. Green finds a cutting Butler who gets the finish here.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler was huge, especially, you look at the stat sheet, you're like, okay, but playoff Jimmy's in full effect. And again, Buddy Hield, what a day he had. Right on time.
Right on target. Warriors up 1 minute and a half to play. Golden State up 3 now. Watch Fred VanVleet, the
Steady
veteran.
Freddie.
Finally, the shot
Steady
has
Freddie.
arrived.
Game all tied at 1:04
8 of them,
here.
right?
1 minute left, still tied. Butler fouled
Okay,
in the
guys,
corner.
we're going to have an uncomfortable conversation.
Man.
Did that really...
They called that, right?
Yeah, they
Well,
did.
he
Hand on the
did
stomach.
make all 3 free throws to take the lead here. And then 13 seconds left. Alperen Şengün drives, but watch Draymond here. Trying to take that little baby hook shot that
Locked
he
in.
loves. Butler with a
Stood him up.
huge rebound.
Let him know, Dre.
Here's Draymond Green
Talk
on that
to Reggie.
defensive possession.
He likes the ISO right in the middle of the paint. So, he started coming downhill. I gave a little ground. And Stack always tells us it's a time that you have to get serious. He says it's time to get, and you just try to pick that point.
There's nothing that's as serious like checking your nails game, right? But this has been a drastic difference in Green's defense on Şengün in games 1 versus 2, 3, 4 here. You can see. And then VanVleet, one more shot here. It's a good look.
Great look.
Just a little bit short. The Warriors survived to take this game 4. Here's Jimmy Butler after the game.
I thought it was winning time. Doing certain things that the team needed me to do to go out there and help win finally. I started moving a little bit better, and happy to be able to go out there and compete with my guys.
For him to gut through that first half and get the wheels going and then get turned up second half, both ends of the floor, it's just why he is who he is and why he means so much to us.
You've shrugged off their fans. Have you felt your restraint from yourself and kind of walking that line?
I'm always walk that line. That's who I am. Habitual line stepper. I'm just playing.
Just like Donnie Cash, walking the line. The Warriors have taken a 3-1 lead for the 12th time in the Kerr era. They finished the deal 10 out of the previous 11 series. The only exception, of course, the 2016 NBA Finals. So Carlos Boozer is joining us now. Booz, the Warriors, they keep finding different ways to get it done here. What was working so well for them last night?
Man, Jimmy Butler was back in the building.
Yeah.
It was working real well. He was very efficient, 7 for 12, did a great job of imposing his will. He's done a great job just getting himself into this Warrior team. Like, I think you saw the interview after the game was over with Buddy Hield jumping in. They have great cohesion. They're playing together. They also believe in each other. Jimmy brings a whole aura to him. He plays great offense. He's very efficient offensively. But then defensively, he's done a great job on Jalen Green and the other guys. He gives you the belief that they can get the job done. We've seen what he's done with lesser talent, bringing them to the NBA Finals. Now he's playing with a couple of Hall of Fame players and a phenomenal system. Done a great job. And then think about what he's done with Draymond Green. Draymond Green, 5 personal fouls, 1 flagrant,
Right.
1 tech.
Yep.
one game-winning defensive stop. Just an outstanding job.
If that doesn't say a Draymond Green game, then I truly do not know what does. The chippiness, of course, he sets the tone, but then he was also said, I know when we need to get serious here. And Steve Kerr, he agrees with you on the Draymond front here, Booze. Remember, Kerr, he's played with Michael Jordan. He's played with Rodman. He's played with Tim Duncan. Keep that in mind when you listen to this high praise that he had for Draymond after this game.
I mean, he's the best defender I've ever seen in my life. He rises to the occasion, you know, on top of being, you know, a great defender, he's an incredible competitor. And so anytime, and we've seen it, I've seen it for 11 years, game on the line, Draymond making a stop. It's like having Steph Curry take the shot.
Whoa, you're right, sis. High praise, the greatest defender of all time. Who, child? That was a statement, though, defensively, his performance. Danny, what did you see down the stretch?
I don't know if I agree with Steve on this one. I think he's a little crazy. I've seen the one. I've seen Scottie Pippen.
It's a good
I
crazy,
play with
though.
Tim Duncan. I also play with Kawhi Leonard.
It's a good
but
crazy,
There's
though.
a reason why he said this about Draymond. His IQ and also his locked-inness. For him to sit for so long, have 5 fouls, come in the game, and be able to stop Alperen Sengun, who has 31 points. He knows he's going left. He likes this move going to his left hand. He did it against Quentin Post multiple times. Cuts him off, stands him up, makes him shoot a deep hook from the foul line, which is not a great shot. Alperen Sengun, this is not Quentin Post. You got to make a better move. But this is the type of defense. And then Jimmy Butler comes in flying for a huge defensive rebound, because this is what sealed the game. You see Adams inside the paint, boxing his guy out. Jimmy seals the game with the rebound. This is a big stop for Draymond, big stop for the Warriors. Sealed the game.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Draymond shut down Sengun in Game 4, as you mentioned, holding him to 2 for 11 shooting as the primary defender. That's after the Rockets center shot, 50% against Green in the first 3 games of the series. Look at these numbers from Podziemski. His game was ill. I mean, literally. He was actually sick and didn't eat for 72 hours. But look at the turnaround. He had a total of 24 points leading into Game 4, then dropped 26 last night. And he did it in Perk voice in great fashion. Roll the tape. Thank you, producer Liv. Baby. So what Podziemski was able to do, remember, Danny, we were texting last night.
Yes,
we said there were different defenses, there were zones, there were man-to-man, but he's able to relocate without the basketball, and you see his trail. He moves, and he was knocking down
Might have learned a thing or two from Steph.
He probably did. You know, best imitation. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery, but Buddy Hield also had himself a day. I know he's had a lot of pressure on him from his teammates like Jimmy Butler, but he delivered. But Podziemski, defensively, he accepted the mission on both ends. Look at this against Van Vliet, who had himself a night, but he was moving, sliding those puppies. He was exceptional getting the tip behind.
Ooh, great defensive play. You know, real defenders do it. Stay in the play, fight through, chase down, got a little block on the end of it.
Yeah, you keep the ball active. Okay, Malika, Miss Oakland, I can't even be mad right now about my Rockets because these games have truly been the theme.
Disappointing me right now.
Look, the games are good though, but it's really been a battle of youth versus experience, but nonetheless, like, they're duking it out, and I love it.
They missed 11 free throws.
Well, but
that's it.
When you're the team that ranked last in free throw percentage in the regular season, you can't be entirely surprised, right, when it comes down to crunch time.
No. Sis, I get you ranked last, but like as
you
a
gotta
pro,
fix it.
as a pro, 60 plus, like, no.
Right. I'm just saying the regular season issues are showing their ugly head here in the postseason. Ime Udoka, Booze, he was asked after this game whether or not he was going to make a lineup change, and he said, we'll see. He didn't rule it off the table. We know the statistics when teams go down 3-1 in a series, so let's just focus on getting one game. Let's just focus on Game 5. What do the Rockets need to do to extend this series?
They need Jalen Green. I mean, you don't necessarily have to have 38 points like he did in Game 2, the game that they won in this series, but they can't be down to single digits either. He was their leading scorer this year. He's got to be somewhere in between, maybe 14, maybe 15, maybe 17 points. But he's got to give them something. Every game has come down to 1 or 2 possessions. And if he can give them a couple more buckets, maybe, you know, again, 15 to 17. I'm not asking for 38, but if he can give them something a little bit more than single digits, this would be a good series. It would be a 2-2 game, or maybe they even be up in this series. But he's had such a dramatic drop-off than what we're used to seeing from him in the regular season.
Okay, hear me out, though, Booze. Size has worked for them. We saw some success with that double big lineup. I don't necessarily see Ime Udoka putting Steven Adams into the starting lineup here, but Jabari Smith Jr. goes in, maybe Jalen Green comes out. Is that an adjustment that you could see happen?
I think so, and that's why I love this series. We have 2 excellent coaches in Ime Udoka and also Steve Kerr, because when we saw Steven Adams, who has had maybe 2 games of high-level success, what happened? We saw
Hacka Kiwi.
That's what they call
That
it.
was an all-time line.
Shout out to her.
And so what do you do when you start, he's effective getting rebounds, being that anchor that we love Steven Adams to be, but then now to the free throw line, that's where that vulnerability and liability comes in. All right, now you have to put him to the bench because that strategy now is working for Steve Kerr. So maybe, yes, like you said, Jabari Smith more, but like big picture on the Rockets, their offense has struggled a lot this year, but they shot 47% from three yesterday. Like, they're ticking off the boxes. It just might be too little too late.
I like the change-up, but not to start the game. You can't take away Jalen Green's confidence. I'm with Booz here. He needs to be more confident. He needs to insert himself, be more aggressive. Do play Steven Adams more, insert him more until that Hackus Kiwi minute comes down to. But I like that tandem with Sengun and Steven Adams, because Sengun got a lot of ISO basketball. They can't double Steven Adams sealing his guy. He's getting layups.
Right.
So they need more of that, but ultimately, Jalen Green's got to step up and play a little bit
maybe if
better.
you're Ime Udoka, you give Steven Adams a chance. They try the hack of Steven Adams once or twice. If he misses the free throws, okay, then pull him out. But maybe instead of pulling him out immediately, let's see what happens. This is going to be an awesome Game 5, and I can't wait. But we have a lot to get to in H-Town, baby. Wait. Did we just become best friends? Let's go back to the game of the night and the best budding bromance in the NBA, Jimmy Butler and Buddy Hield here.
Brothers.
It's today's electric moment brought to you by Hyundai. So we're gonna take a little flashback here, because to Game 3 on Saturday, Jimmy Butler and Buddy Hield, they shined for Golden State. Hield would have 17 points on 5 of 11 shooting from beyond the arc. Here's what Hield had to say about his Game 3 performance in Butler's absence.
I know Robin was out tonight, so I had to step up. That was it. I had to be an Alfred tonight.
Buddy is not in this. Buddy's the Joker or something. He's the evil man.
Well, Robin and Alfred, they would come up big down the stretch of Game 4 here. Here, Hield to Butler, inside for the alley-oop finish.
What I feel like I'm watching is Sensei and Jimmy and the apprentice and Buddy in real time.
Well, today is National Superhero Day.
Because he's trying to bring out that basketball IQ, the awareness on both ends, and man.
Big shot, Buddy.
Yep.
Steph Curry finding Hield for the 3 there, and then 11 seconds left. The Warriors up by 1. Alperen Sengun drives, that little baby hook.
Defensive Player of the Year finalist.
Misses, and look who flies in for the rebound. It's Butler. Huge rebound here. Let's take a listen to Jimmy after this win.
I die for these guys, for real. It's so fun. I got my joy back, as some would say. But more than anything, it's always good to win. Let me go, man. Go back there. What are you going to do? Nothing on national TV.
I hate to give Buddy a compliment, so I'm not going to. But number 7 on our team really brought the defensive mentality tonight, made some big shots, and he stinks. I just got to add that too.
It pained him to say, but after the game, he posted, felt nice, might take down later. 11 hours later, though, it's still up.
Okay.
So we're making some progress here. The Warriors take a 3-1 lead over Houston, and now taking a look at the rest of the first round here of the 6 remaining first-round series.
I'm on fire.